Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins, and I got a really interesting article I would love to share with you guys. It's actually kind of an important article because it's becoming, homelessness is becoming a massive issue, and it's getting a lot worse. So let's kick it off here, and this is a really good one because it actually shows the changes in 3 years. So Google Street View comparisons show Vancouver's growing homeless in photos. So this is Google Streets. So Google Streets goes around every couple of years and films the streets. So when you're looking around for an address or a place without having to physically go there, you could see it from the outside from home and then make a decision whether or not if that's the right place or if you decide you want to go there or not. You know, it kind of gives you an idea, right? So this is the tent city homeless, or let's just call it homeless situation in Vancouver. Look at the baggage coming up this way, and tents and people's stuff. And I've been talking about the housing crisis, and the housing crisis reminds me, in my opinion, when we used to study the Black Plague in high school, in grade school, early high school, grade 9, grade 10. The bubonic plague when it hit London and big cities across Europe. And why does it remind me of that is because the people that could left the troubled zones to the mountains to live in makeshift tents in the mountains till the sickness left. The ones that couldn't afford to leave had to stay and basically die. And that's what I see happening, is the people like me, my other neighbor Mike, like all of us, we all came from the coast. And some of us came from Kamloops and other cities that got expensive. Now, what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we left. We could do it. We had a bit of savings. We said, hey, let's just buy a place somewhere else. Let's live the life we want to live, but let's not live in the city, because the city is just way too expensive. So the ones that can't get out or don't have the means to get out will have to stay there and suffer, and that's scary. And I would never wish it upon anyone like this. This is horrible, you know what I'm saying? So Google Street View comparisons show Vancouver's growing homeless photos. This is, look at it in 2014. Just a little average avenue, a couple of factories, and a couple of, it looks like industrial zone here. This is 135th A Street, I guess, and this is it in 2017. The wiring has been falling up, like wires are falling apart up here. I could notice that, like in the infrastructure. And I'm noticing spray paint everywhere more on this side. So dilapidation is happening, you know. So let's read this out. Based on accounts conducted earlier this year, homelessness in the city of Vancouver is up by 2% since last year and 24% since 2014. But this pattern is also being experienced beyond the city's boundaries. Well, let me take a step back from all this, because in 2010, during the Olympics, they moved a lot of homeless people out of Vancouver and moved them to towns like Merritt and Kamloops and Kelowna and other towns during the Olympics. But the problem is a lot of them never left, because I met some people here in town, and they told me they've been here since the Olympics, and they were just moved here, and they've never left. So it is a burden on other cities. You know, it needs to be, people need to be put on, not medication. I don't believe in put on, I believe more like a good program to talk with people, group therapies. We don't have that here. Like I noticed they have like AA meetings, but they don't have like meetings where just group meetings. Like I know, like a friend of mine that lives in the Bronx said there's a school, and every night at the school, every classroom has one with parenting issues. Another classroom has spousal issues. Another class has drinking issues. Another class has drug issues. Another class has rehabilitation for, you know, sex addicts, whatever, right? Here, we don't have that community connection. I noticed that here in Canada. So it's people need to be put on the right track, and they're not, and that's the scary part, you know. And what hurts now, it's not the people that should be put on track and given. A lot of these people living in these tents work; they have jobs. That's the scary part. 20, 30 years ago in Canada, all you had to do... Sorry, that's my foot massage going off there. All you had to do in Canada was have a job. All you need to do was have a job. You'd have everything. All you had to do was 40 hours a week. You could live on your own. In any city across Canada. So a lot of... The scary part is a lot of these people work there. A lot of them were like pre-middle class, or pre-middle class. They used to be middle class. They grew up in middle class families, a lot of these people. And it's very scary. And why? Because I have children. Anybody could end up like this. And that's the scary part. And not having that community structure within the intercities is very scary. Like, I'm surprised that the church groups aren't as strong, like, when it comes to community meetings and stuff. Like, it's very, like, hush hush, you know? Okay, let's continue. All right. Based on the counts counted earlier this year, homelessness in the city of Vancouver is up 2% since last year and 24% since 2014. But this pattern is also being experienced beyond the city's boundaries. Across Metro Vancouver, homelessness has increased 30% over the same period, according to separate counts by regional district. A new campaign by Rain City Housing pairs the statistics with anecdotal visual observations using Google Maps. Hey, it's right in front of you. Street view snapshots comparing the latest street views with the street views over the last 4 years. In every comparison, the most recent street view shows more clusters of homeless people and homeless encampments compared to older street views. So that they can't make this up. It's there. It's on file. You can see it. The Google Street View images in our campaign, much like the homeless counts, are just snapshots in time of much larger issue, said Aaron Morano, Associate Director of Rain City Housing, in a statement. The campaign images show homeless in Greater Vancouver area is changing our cities, but that there is a solution in providing affordable housing and social housing, and we need to show our support around it. People who are supported in housing by Rain City have access to supports and live in places that are safer and more secure than remaining homeless. Street views comparing sites that are now built with social housing developments are also part of the campaign. The provincial government's ongoing $291 million initiative of building 2,000 temporary modular social housing units across BC over 2 years. $291 million across BC. BC is a big province. 2,000 temporary modular social units, I mean, is a nice start for half of a year. Look at what New Zealand's been doing lately. They've been ramping up housing there like crazy for low income, big time in New Zealand, more than what the whole province of British Columbia is doing, which is probably 22 times bigger than New Zealand. Holy smokes. Is a key factor to reducing homelessness. The program targets those who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. The bulk of these units are being built by Metro Vancouver, including $66 million to build 600 units within Vancouver. So let's say 2 people per unit, that's 1,200 people. I think there's more than 1,200 people homeless. There's a lot of homeless people. As of today, Vancouver, 156 units are already built, 150 units are approved, and 100 units are in the development application stage. Some of the modular housing projects have had drastic, immediate positive impacts. The tent city along 135th A Street in Wally disappeared within days after a 160-unit modular housing complex opened in Surrey, opened earlier this week. According to the Rain City Housing, the actual homeless number in Vancouver could be up to 3 times higher than the 24-hour count due to the people staying with relatives, couch surfing, or just being really hard to find. The most recent count also found that over half of the city's homeless population have been homeless for less than a year. So this is recent homelessness. So half of the people that are homeless now It's been less than a year. So look at this one here. So this is 52nd East Hastings, Vancouver. This was like 3 or 4 blocks from my store in downtown Vancouver. Oh wow! So you could actually slide the window. There it is before. But look at all the people on the street. Wow. Let's zoom this in a bit so you can see it just a bit better. Here we go. So it's like, hey man, what's going on? Like a guy with a briefcase. So you got a guy with a briefcase. Everyone's dressed like everyone like looks pretty kosher. Yeah, there's no sketcher, nothing too sketchy, right? Then boom. Wow, even the shop shut down. There's graffiti all over the windows. Hold on. Oh, that's even shut down too. That can thing. The pharmacy, 50-cent convenience store is gone. Now well, it was a pharmacy. Now it's a 50-cent convenience store. Wow. Okay. Homeless, 135th A Street in Whalley. So this is in Whalley in Surrey. Yeah, I know the housing. So there it is before. You know, just regular, and it looks like an industrial parkway. This street here, it looks like all industrial zoned here, and then holy crap! It goes right to the end of the street. Guys, I thought the images were like this. I didn't think you could slide them over. Holy, and the buildings are all run down too. Everything. Look how shiny the buildings are 4 years ago, and all clean, and but look all the wiring falling apart now, and spray paint everywhere. Holy, what a shocker! All right, let's move on. This is 1919 Station Street in Vancouver, Chinatown. Okay, that's pretty much how it was when I lived there, like that. What? I gotta do it real quick because I'm looking at specifics. Ooh, those porta potties look horrible there. And a ton of tents. Oh, even in the back end, in behind the fence, there's more tents too, along that alleyway. Wow, there's like that's one thing I noticed about Vancouver. So this was 2015, August, and this is June 2017. Wow, it's even worse today then. Because Mike was over, from Jamaican Mike, my neighbor, was over having a few drinks with me. And he was telling me he was in Vancouver 2 days ago to see family for Christmas, and it was a disaster of tent city everywhere. There was tents everywhere on the sidewalks. So this is this is pretty bad. But it's not just the tents, you know. It's the buildings falling apart around it too. And another thing I'm noticing too is like the vehicles are older when you get to a newer date. Like 2017, like there's like a 1982 Ford Topaz parked on the street, that white one there. Like I noticed that in Vancouver, you get a lot of old cars. Like really old cars that are still on the road. I don't know how, but I don't know how people maintain those cars because it's very expensive, right, to maintain some of those vehicles. Homelessness. This is Oppenheimer Park, Vancouver, downtown east side. This is a very famous park. So this is it here. Wow. Wow. There's a fire pit in it, too. Oh, and they have a huge tent there at the end. All right, that one's not too good because it's just giving you... Okay, new social housing, 305 Gordon Avenue. So that's before. And that's after. That's good. At least there's a place for people to go. And this one's new social housing, 1215 Prince Avenue, Vancouver. Before, after. It's nicer. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. That's good to see. New social housing, 2456 Fraser Avenue, Vancouver. So it's an empty lot, and then they built that beautiful building. That's nice. But it's nice to have social housing, but I kind of wish that they used this money to invest and create jobs through small businesses to employ people to pay them more than they could afford any housing. How about that? Social housing is great, but what about any housing? What about getting what you know, instead of having to put in low income, or you buy what house you want? There it is before, and there it is after. That looks nice too. So they did do their due diligence. So let's open this one. Homeless in Vancouver, modular housing for homeless. Homelessness in Vancouver has grown again since last year. Yeah, it's getting bad, people. This is the exact same article we pretty much read. And the amount of people sheltered. Okay, homeless residents reflected this year's count make up 0.3% of the overall population in Vancouver. 78% of Vancouver's homeless population are people who were already living in Vancouver when they became homeless. Okay. So a lot of people don't go to Vancouver to become homeless. So it's only 22% go to Vancouver to become homeless, I guess. I guess because the weather is a little bit more temperate. People of Indigenous identity continue to be vastly overrepresented in the homelessness, making up 40% of the Vancouver homeless population, but only 2.2% of Vancouver's overall population. 1/5 of respondents reported full-time and or part-time employment as income source, but are still homeless with multiple sources of income. That's the scary part. 1/5, 1 in 5 people that are homeless work. That's what keeps me up at night. Income assistance and disability benefits are the top 2 sources of income for 38% and 29% respectively. In total, 35% of individuals responded as having no addictions, while 28% said they were addicted to cigarettes, followed by 25% addicted to opioids. Opioids is another problem that's taking the lives of a lot of young women and men and women. So, yeah, it's good that they're making and working to create this new social housing, but I believe in any housing where give somebody a good job, give somebody a job they could be, you know, instead of being stuck on those treadmills, right? I can't believe this. I can't believe how much, like, how bad things have gotten. Look at this. Garbage everywhere, too. Needles. I can't even see needles on the floor here. Holy smokes. So, tent cities are everywhere. I'm going to try and get Demise Music and Entertainment on the show from San Diego. He's been making a lot of homeless videos for us here on this channel. And we've been going on to his channel, Demise Music and Entertainment from San Jose. Massive tent cities all along, all the way down to the bay. Just incredible amount of people just setting up tent or setting up accommodations anywhere and everywhere. So let me know what you guys think. Are you seeing massive change for the worse in your city? I know the whole West Coast is plagued by this. From the top of King County, right from Olympia, all the way, there's 10 cities, through Portland, Oregon, through San Francisco, all the way down to LA County, all the way down to San Diego. It's phenomenal, the amount of tent cities. I heard they're popping up now in parts of Nevada, Salt Lake City, Utah. I heard they're popping up in parts of Florida. So, and a lot of these people work, and that's what is the problem. Anyways, I'm going to go check out my kid. He's crying and see how he's doing. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.